What would you do if the sun became your enemy? Not a storm, not a predator, not a monster in the dark, just the sun. The same sun that warmed your ancestors, the same sun that helped them see the path, the same sun that made plants grow. Now imagine standing under it. No roof, no sunscreen, no modern shirt, no sunglasses, no bottle of water nearby. Just your skin, your sweat, your breath, and a wide, prehistoric plain that refuses to give you shade. At first, you think you are fine. That is the false answer. You feel heat. You feel brightness. You feel strong. You tell yourself, humans were made for this. Then your skin begins to sting. Not loudly, not all at once, just a slow warning, a red warning, a burning warning. Your body is telling you something ancient. You are not built like the other animals. And that should feel terrifying. Because on the same plane, an antelope can stand in the sun, a lion can sleep in it, a hyena can walk through it, a bird can fly above it, a lizard can sit on a rock and almost look proud. But you, the creature with the biggest plans, the creature with fire, the creature with language, the creature that would one day build cities. You start burning after minutes. That feels like a mistake. But evolution rarely makes simple mistakes. It makes trades. And this trade began long before sunscreen, long before houses, long before farms, long before anyone had a word for sunburn. To understand why humans burn, we have to go back to a time when our ancestors were not the rulers of the earth. They were small bodies on a dangerous landscape. They were meat with ideas. They had to survive heat, hunger, predators, infection, and distance. And the sun was always there, above them, watching, pressing, testing. The easy answer is that humans burn because our skin is weak. But that is only the first layer. The deeper reveal is stranger. Humans burn because we gave up our original shield. We traded it away. Most mammals never made that trade. Look at them. Fur covers their bodies. Fur is not just decoration. Fur is not just warmth. Fur is armor against light. Sunlight has to pass through thousands of hairs before it can touch the skin. That hair breaks up the light. It creates shade on the body. It keeps ultraviolet rays away from living cells. For a wolf, for a bear, for a monkey, for a lion, the sun does not strike bare skin first. It strikes a forest of hair. That is why many mammals can stay outside longer than you without turning red. They are carrying shade on their backs. Humans used to have that kind of shield. This is the part that feels almost insulting. You did not lose your hair follicles. You still have them. Human skin has roughly the same number of hair follicles as a chimpanzee. The follicles are still there. The thick coat is gone. So the question becomes sharper. Why would an ancient human body throw away a sun shield in a world full of sun? The false answer is that hair simply disappeared because humans became advanced. That is wrong. Evolution does not remove useful things because a species is becoming special. It removes them when the cost becomes too high. And for our ancestors, the cost was heat. Around 2 million years ago, some of our ancestors moved into more open country. Less forest, more grassland, more distance, more sunlight, more exposure. Food was not always waiting nearby. Sometimes it had to be followed. Sometimes it had to be chased. Sometimes survival meant walking for hours. Sometimes it meant running after wounded prey. Sometimes it meant crossing open ground while everything around you was hotter, faster, stronger, or better armed. A thick coat of fur would have protected the skin, but it also would have trapped heat. That is the trap. Fur blocks sun, but fur also holds warmth. For an animal that runs in short bursts, that may be fine. For an animal that must travel far in brutal heat, it can be fatal. A body that cannot dump heat becomes a body that stops moving. A body that stops moving becomes food. So evolution peeled us. Not completely, not perfectly, but enough. Our ancestors became less furry. Their sweat glands became more important. Their bare skin became a cooling surface. Sweat spread across it. Air touched it. Heat escaped. And suddenly, a strange ape could do something terrifying. It could keep going. Not the fastest, not the strongest, not the sharpest teeth, but still moving, still breathing, still following, still sweating, still alive. This was one of the ancient human superpowers: endurance. A human can overheat less easily than many furry animals because we sweat across much of the body. Many animals must pant to cool down. Panting works, but panting becomes harder while running. Humans can run and cool at the same time. That matters. On a hot plain, it matters more than claws. It matters more than speed in the first minute. It matters more than looking powerful. The prey runs, the prey rests, the human follows. The prey runs again, the human follows again. The sun punishes both. But the human keeps dumping heat. This was not comfort. This was survival. But every survival gift has a shadow, and the shadow was ultraviolet light. Bare skin cools beautifully. Bare skin burns easily. We gained a cooling machine. We lost a sunlight shield. That is the trade. Fur was the roof. Sweat was the engine. Evolution chose the engine. Now you may think melanin fixed the problem. That is the next false answer. Melanin helps. Melanin matters deeply. Melanin is the pigment in skin that absorbs ultraviolet radiation before it can damage DNA. More melanin means more protection. That is why darker skin generally burns less easily than lighter skin. But melanin is not fur. Melanin is not feathers. Melanin is not scales. Melanin is not a mud wall. It is a chemical defense inside living tissue. It reduces damage. It does not make humans immune. The ancient human story of skin color is really a story of geography. Near the equator, sunlight is intense. Ultraviolet radiation is strong. For early populations living under that sun, high melanin was protection. It helped reduce burns. It helped protect folate. It helped lower some risks from intense UV exposure. In those places, darker skin was a survival advantage. But then humans moved north, south, into weaker sunlight, into colder lands, into cloudy regions, into places where the sun was lower in the sky. And there, too much melanin created another problem: vitamin D. Your body needs ultraviolet light to help produce vitamin D. If skin blocks too much UV in a low sun environment, vitamin D can become scarce. That can weaken bones. That can affect survival. That can affect childbirth. That can affect children. So the body faced a brutal balance. Too little melanin near the equator. You burn and suffer damage. Too much melanin far from the equator. You risk vitamin D deficiency. Human skin color became a map of this ancient compromise. Not a ranking, not a decoration, not a simple identity. A survival record, a climate memory, a biological negotiation with the sun. But even with melanin, the sun still gets through. This is why tanning is misunderstood. People often think a tan means health. They think it means strength.